ADU now is a whole different market, right? It's in the last 5 years, last 2 years, it's just taken on a whole new level of importance. The process is what people need to understand,
They
in my
do.
mind. If they understand the process, the product sells itself.
Envision this for a minute. A homeowner wants to build an ADU. They don't pull $300,000 out of their bank account.
No.
They pull as like a second mortgage,
Yep,
a
equity.
HELOC,
Yep.
and what comes with that? Monthly
Monthly
payments.
payments. I feel like there's a part of it that people just want to get something they can put people in, like their family,
Yep.
money, the renters, whatever, and then get on with their lives and not have the city come back to them, not have anybody come and like hounding on them.
And that's why TruHaven was born, to help people. It wasn't to go make money. It wasn't to go be a millionaire. It wasn't to go be rich. It was to go meet people's needs. We want to take the crisis and turn it into something positive.
Yeah, it's not transactional, it's transformative.
Exactly. Hi, this is Jonathan with TruHaven, coming back at you in our second podcast. Want to thank you for joining. We're here with Brandon Hargreaves. We're going to get into a little bit more about why he's here, who he is. As always, TruHaven is a source for you to get information for your personal space, your ADU, or whatever home build project you want to do. We're always wanting to provide that authority, clarity, and just a better understanding of what you need to do to get to where you need to go. So, with that being said, Brandon, why don't you tell a little bit about us?
Well, thanks for having me first, Jonathan. Um, Brandon Hargreaves here. I've been in real estate for the past 22 years, I'd say. And, I got really intrigued by the TruHaven product because my background is in valuing real estate. So I went into, I don't know, thousands of homes and I've seen hundreds of ADUs that at the time, ADU now is a whole different market, right? It's in the last 5 years, last 2 years, it's just taken on a whole new level of importance to a buyer and a seller of real estate. So I've seen them done before in different kind of shapes and sizes, and they at the time were considered like granny units or something. But the accessory dwelling unit (ADU) has taken on a whole new meaning, in especially right now in California as well because of the housing shortage. So
That's
I got
right.
really intrigued by TruHaven because I started researching products and TruHaven just kept coming out, and so I reached out to Jonathan and we just started talking more about it because I have a in valuing real estate, I also buy and sell real estate. So I'm always looking at lot sizes and what you can do with it to maximize on the value. So I'm trying to out there looking for products, and TruHaven kept coming, like I said, kept coming back up to me. So I reached out to Jonathan and we started talking, and one thing led to another. And now I'm sitting here and I'm ready to talk more about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess, you know, in valuing real estate, there's a lot of different questions that sellers and buyers have, right? And
That's right.
primarily when it comes to building a product, the concerns become about the permit process, about the cost, obviously, and if it's even allowed to be done on your lot, right? And from an appraiser standpoint, valuing properties, we always want to maximize on the value, right? And the investors as well. So how do you do that in a time frame that's going to get you in and out of a project, right? So there's one avenue of that. And your product kind of fits the bill on all those fronts because my understanding is, and I'd like you to elaborate on it, is the time frames really about a product that's you guys are offering, and how it goes, how it starts from the beginning to the end. Because once I know more about that, then I can get out there and help explain that to the buyers and sellers of these properties. Because do you have to have a certain setback? Do you have to have a certain size lot? Do you have to have
Right.
permits? Do you have to have permanent foundation? How can this product be built in a time efficient way that the particular seller or buyer of the property makes sense to them in their portfolio? So that's kind of why I'm here. I wanted to basically get as much information so I can share that to my clients and we can continue to grow this business.
No, I like it. I like it. True Haven, first, a little background. I'm sure everybody knows True Haven started from uh, our engineering firm where we were engineering for multiple steel frame builders in the space. And so what we were seeing a lot of gaps, a lot of things that needed to be done in a better way.
As
And
far as
so
building goes,
as
primarily.
far as building, as far as providing a better customer service,
Hmm.
a more intimate service, a lot of steel frame builders or a lot of companies out there, they're either run by CEOs, COOs, CFOs, or
All the
just
C's.
business, all the C's,
All the
right?
C's.
And so the number one thing or the number one missing gap that they all need is an engineering firm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that's why we engineer for so many different companies because
Okay.
they all need a structural engineer. But we thought, you know, what we saw happening is we would talk to the customers, to their customers, right? So if you envision this, we get hired by a steel frame builder.
Okay.
They said, "Hey, Jonathan, um, can you engineer a home for us?" Like, sure, absolutely. So we can, we start walking that process. But what started happening is steel frame builders would come to us and say, "Hey, I sold this home a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
The homeowner's been waiting. I need to get it engineered tomorrow." So we get on the phone with those homeowners and we have all these aggravated homeowners
Mm.
that are like, "Hey, I've been waiting on my home built. The reason they're waiting on it is because all these steel builders needed a structural engineer."
Okay.
So they got out there, they started selling these kits, selling these homes,
Mm.
and and then they're like, "Okay, we sold 100, let's go find an engineer." So we thought, why don't we do it in reverse?
Reverse engineer it.
Right, reverse engineer it.
I like that.
So that's why we do an engineering led company, an engineering led product, right? The company's owned by an engineer, the one who engineers these homes. So not only that, but TruHaven has a personal spin to it as well, right? So it has a deeper meaning to us, which we can get into later. But going to your questions, absolutely, the timeline is insane.
So before I guess what is the product? I guess let's start with
That's
that,
a
and
good
then
question.
yeah, if we go from the product side of it, and then we can elaborate on I would like to know, because then once I understand the product, then I can understand
Yeah,
how to explain that to like the clients that I have,
100%.
because the time frame will matter, but it doesn't matter if we don't know what the product is. Because
100%.
so it's what exactly is True
So,
Haven's
so
product?
it's a good question.
Yeah.
The True Haven product is what we call cold form steel
Okay.
or light gauge steel. So cold form steel is just a metal
Okay.
that's formed into a C channel. Okay, so they take a flat piece of metal
Uh-huh.
and make it into a C channel.
Okay.
Those C channels then replace your 2x4 walls,
Okay.
your 2x6 walls. So your walls now are those steel C channels. You
And
see a lot of this construction in the strip malls
mhm.
going up. So in the retail space, commercial space, they build with this all the time. They've been doing it for the last 100 years. Um, Australia, New Zealand, other countries, they've been doing it in residential capacity. We in America just haven't done it for until the last 3 or 4 years. So it's a new technology that really other countries have already been doing. It's just America was a little slow on the grab.
It's like new technology with old history. Like, yeah, kind
100%.
of what it is, and that's kind of how I would explain pitch it, you know what I mean? Because that everybody's interested in history and where things are coming from. And
Yeah.
I guess when you're saying this to me, I'm thinking, okay, we're not chopping down trees, right? So
No.
you get that taken care of to where it's now being manufactured in the States as well.
Yeah. So that's a great thing. So that's another thing I really want to touch on
Okay.
is many of the builders, that was one of the gaps we saw as well, is that they import a lot of their cold form steel product, the walls, the
Hmm.
roof, you know. And so what happens is, let me paint a picture really quick. So let's say you're building your home.
Hmm.
We're going to make it these C channels, these cold form steel. It's called panelization. We'll talk more about that. But imagine you get your home kit and something's broken. The wall's broken. The
Hmm.
steel is busted because the shipping company messed it up. Since those companies get the steel from another country, you're waiting 6 months to get a replacement. So we wanted our product to be built in USA, assembled in USA, and you get it from the USA. And it comes out of Utah.
Tariff free.
That's right. Tariffs free.
Right? I mean, let's be like, if that's a whole other selling feature that you probably
It
weren't
is.
even touching on at the time, right?
Right.
When you and now it's like, okay, fast forward to 2025, right? So now we're
Yep.
dealing with that whole factor of the costs. So that just kind of puts you at a different level of your competitors as well.
It does, but not it doesn't, how do I say this? It doesn't matter as much to us personally
Okay.
as it does the fact that it's an American made product.
Yeah.
And the fact that, and this happened recently, that we built a home in Idaho and one of the panels was bent. Our Utah factory said, no problem. We'll make one tomorrow. 2 days later, it was on a truck heading out to the house.
Because these panels that we're talking about that are being built in the manufacturing lots, right? Those are a part of the kit, right? So when you say kit, that's where basically I'm thinking of the design of the whole house, right? That's the kit. The kit is the house that gets
Right,
constructed on site of wherever it's going, right?
right. But keep in mind, it's not a full turnkey house.
Okay.
We're not going to come drop um, a full house. You see it on Instagram all the time, right?
Hmm.
Twenty
The
thousand
box humps, the
dollars
box ups, yeah. You just
opens
comes,
up, and
yeah,
you have a
comes off the
house that
RV,
walks
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is the steel frame skeleton of the home,
Okay.
um, the substructure of the home with the siding.
The
So
siding on the outside of the
on
house,
the
then. Okay.
outside,
And that is all negotiable in the kit. Like you can have wood frame
100%.
siding, you can have stucco siding, you can have all
Well,
different
we
things,
don't
right?
we don't we don't provide stucco,
Okay.
but we provide like the cladding
Okay. That
on
then
the
that
side.
you they could adhere the stucco too.
They can
Okay.
exactly. So basically, it's 8 foot panels wall
Hmm.
wide, and we can make them as tall as we want. And it has OSB. So it's basically steel frame studs
Okay.
with OSB on the outside, and you tilt up these walls like an erector set.
Yeah. Like tilt ups, like they would do for big,
A
commercial
hundred
spaces and
percent,
stuff. But now it's just in a smaller scale.
like an Amazon warehouse, those big
Yeah.
or
Uh-huh.
Tesla. You got these concrete walls going up, but we do it with steel frame walls.
And so if a client was to go on to the, I guess, the TruHaven website,
Yeah.
that's where they would find the different designs for these kits type thing.
Yep.
And then, so do you have how many particular model of designs do you have? Is it based off square footage, based off bedrooms? How do you decide on what you
Yeah. So
want?
so we have a small group
Okay.
of homes that are on the website. That's another differentiator that we wanted True Haven to be compared to our competitors. If
Okay.
you look at a lot of our competitors, you see shoe boxes. You've seen it.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
a box with a raked roof.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, okay. What if your mother-in-law was like, hey, I want a cottage, a little 1,200 square foot cottage in the backyard? She goes to this company, and she's like, they're all boxes.
Yeah.
When you go to our website, we do have a couple models. I think we have 4 or 5 that are right on the website,
Hmm.
but we also have the design your own. So the great part about our product is a customer can go to houseplans.com or whatever site that has a set of plans, come to True Haven
Hmm.
and basically say, I want to build this. Can you build it for me? And say, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense because that gives them the creative control in a way, and that's kind
Exactly.
of what a customer still wants, right?
And we'll always have that conversation with them. If they bring us the Taj Mahal, we might be like, we need to tone it down a little bit. But that's where a lot of conversations happen with our customers and our clients about that.
So I jump around a lot. I got a little
Yeah.
ADD kicking in, so I do. And so when I ask these questions, they all relate to True Haven. But so do they come in? They get to design their own home. Is it all web based, or does somebody come out to their lot, look at their house, and then they have the conversation with the kit creator, I guess you will, right? For
Yeah.
lack of a better word, right? So I said, hey, Jonathan, I'm 123 Main Street. Can you come out because I have 800 square foot of rear space yard, 2,000 square feet rear space yard, and I want to see about designing a house out there? Or do I have to go onto your website and kind of start there? Like, what is the first step for a client?
So the number one and most important thing that I wanted to maintain as we launch TruHaven and as we keep our core belief is that intimate
Yeah.
relationship bond that we have with the homeowner. So what they do is they'll go onto our website,
Okay.
kind of schedule a consultation. We'll get on the phone with them and then walk through what they want to
Okay.
do. So the great thing, this is another differentiator. The differentiator we want a TruHaven to be is we don't want our customers calling and they get somebody out of the
Mm.
country, right? You know what I mean? People, they don't get a warm fuzzy with that. You know, whenever you
I get
call,
that. It's same with real estate. You got to go and put your. I mean, for me, it's that's where when I'm thinking this, I'm thinking I do way better in person with people. Hence
yeah,
the podcast here versus
yeah,
being on the phone because it allows you to get to know. You get to see in their eyes and get to see
yeah,
their passion. Get to see the the.
right.
I guess if you guys have a contractor or not a contractor, but your kit creator. I don't know what I'm trying to, what word we would use, but
An architectural designer.
architectural designer. And
Yep,
AD, but it
there we
would be
go.
nice to have, that does help with, especially when these homeowners are they're the money that they are investing, right? They want to
Yeah,
feel like they're getting something in return other than just the product. They want to feel like they're going to get an
right.
answer to the question.
We want to give them an experience.
I like that.
When me and my wife built our first home, we built it. And there wasn't anything better than going out and seeing, oh my gosh, the
Yeah.
light switches got put in, the
Oh,
drywall
100%.
went up.
Yep. Did the
It's an
same thing.
experience.
It is.
And a lot of these companies, the competitors, it's a transaction.
Yeah.
So this is another core of our company at TruHaven. We don't want this to feel transactional. You know, these people, we're helping people in burn areas. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But these aren't contracts. These aren't dollar figures to us. These are people. These are real people with real problems and have a family that they want to build a home, a personal space. You know, a dad that's got 5 kids and he's like, man, I got to do a Zoom call. I'm going to build an office out in the
Yeah.
backyard. So it's that kind of thing. So what happens? A customer schedules a call with us,
Okay.
one of our internal staff here, and we walk through what their needs are. We hear them out, and so we kind of do a preliminary intake.
Could we do a little role play scenario here?
Let's do a role play.
Yeah, because right now I would be considered a customer because I do have a property in Orange County, and currently it sits on a 14,000 square foot lot. Okay, the house that we have on the lot is 1,800 square feet. So we have a 3 bedroom, 2 bath,
Yeah.
1,800 square foot house. We have ample parking and RV access on one side, and we also have about a 8 foot, I guess, setback from the neighbor's wall on the other side, which leads to the open space in the rear yard. So I would be calling you to come out because I am very interested in doing this product in our backyard. So let's just play the scenario like, hey, Jonathan, I'm reaching out because TruHaven has been at the top of my search and I'm ready to pull the trigger. So I'd love to talk more about getting a product in there. I'm not sure on the size. I just know that my backyard's big. So would you prefer them say, hey, give me the dimensions of your backyard and then we can help you decide on maybe if you need an 800 square
Right.
foot, a 1,200 square foot, that kind of thing?
So the first question we always ask folks is, if they're asking for an ADU,
Mhm.
we'll ask, is there already a home on your lot?
Yes.
Okay, there is.
Yeah.
Do
Okay.
you know how big it is?
1,800 square feet.
Okay, right. You said that. That
Yeah.
means I didn't listen to you very
No,
well.
it's okay. We're continuing the conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so as we're role playing, are you role playing Brandon?
Yes, Brandon. Yes.
Okay, well, I can't give you a discount even though we're friends.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fine. Well, I'm still interested in the product. I'm not here for the discount yet, but
Okay.
we'll see how that goes.
No, but my second question would be, how big's your lot roughly? Do you know?
My lot is 14,000 square feet.
Okay. So the reason we ask that is many cities jurisdictions
Mhm.
have what's called a lot coverage limits.
Okay.
So what that means is you can't cover more than 50 or 60% of your lot. Sometimes it's down as low as 40%.
Okay.
So what that means is you can't have livable footprint covering more than half the square
And
area of your lot.
okay, would that play? Let's just for the fact that is my house sits directly in center of that lot, so I
Well,
probably have I have plenty of space. Basically, if I
Right.
only have 1,800 square feet. So with that 1,800 square feet, I have a 14,000 square foot lot. It's safe to say that I could put an ADU in my rear yard.
Well, it depends.
Okay.
And this is and you're kind of leading to the whole reason why we created TruHaven
Okay.
was to
Good.
provide clarity. I'll give you an example. Every April 15th, you got to file your taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go to figure out, like, what website do you go to figure out what forms to use?
Well, I don't know. I talked to my CPA and let them handle all that.
Right. No, I know. But for a lot of people, if they do their own taxes, they
Yeah.
go to IRS.
Yeah.
Gov.
Uh-huh. Okay, there I get you. I'm following.
So you, as Brandon, if you didn't have me to call, what would you do? Would you Google?
Yeah.
You probably go to
Well, now
10
I would have
different.
to say Chat GPT, right? Because I hate to say that, but that's the reality where
This
we're
is
headed.
true. We're getting
So
to AI technology.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But that's really what it is. And
We have actually proven that ChatGPT isn't always right.
no, that's a whole factor there.
The
Yeah,
whole
it
other
depends on how you ask
conversation.
the question, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So then
But anyway, so TruHaven was to provide a clarity for people. So when I say it depends, is there's a thing called setbacks,
Mhm.
or a terminology called setbacks for people that don't know. Setbacks means that your ADU or your home or whatever you're building needs to be away from your property line a particular feet.
Yep.
It's typically 5 feet. Rear setback can
10
be
maybe.
is about 10
I think
feet.
it's about maybe 10. Yeah.
Right. But so let's think about
Well, I don't
this.
know. I've seen a lot of ADUs. Maybe they weren't built to code, but I've seen a lot back in the day that were. I'm like,
Right.
how did you get this against the wall? Zero lot
Well,
line or what?
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Actually, New Beginnings Engineering, our engineering firm, um, about 50% of our work were folks that built without a permit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they call us, bail them out. So you have a house in the middle of your lot. Okay. Let's say we identify that it's 10 feet with the
Okay.
rear line that you need to be. The next question is I need to identify how many feet the ADU needs to be from the home. It's called building separation.
Okay.
And a lot of cities have building separation requirements. A lot of times it's 6 feet or 10 feet. So let's do some numbers.
Come here.
Let's say there's 30 feet from your existing
Yep.
home to rear lot.
Okay.
Let's say there's a 10-foot building separation requirement
Mm-hmm.
and a 10-foot setback from rear. That means you can only build an ADU 10 foot wide.
Yeah.
So even though you have 30 feet, there's other criteria you have to think
Yeah.
about.
And I guess that could you angle that ADU in an angle where it's one corner's 10 feet off one corner? You know what I mean? So I guess
And that's where we get creative.
that's where it goes into the the personal connection and relationship
Exactly.
with TruHaven, right? And understanding that, hey, I need your guidance in this. I need you to at
Right.
least give me the blueprints of what that looks like, and which
Right.
kind of leads me into my next question. So we have that for the sake of role playing. I know that my setback is 6 feet from the rear yard, 6 feet from the side. I have about 50 feet to play with.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's just say that.
It's a nice lot.
Yeah, it's a good sized lot. Thank you. But no, it's truthfully, so that would allow the maximum ADU I could build still would be based off of the city's guidelines, not
Right.
how much you could build, because you could build whatever, right? It's a matter
Right.
of what we're allowed to put on that lot for the coverage of the lot per house, per the building
Exactly.
structure. Okay.
Hence more confusion
Yeah,
within the building departments. How
100%.
big can you build?
Yeah, exactly. I've
So
seen that be a problem.
right. So it all depends on, are you attaching your ADU to the home? That has its own size requirements.
Okay.
Detached ADU where it's not connected to the home, that has its own size requirement.
2-story.
Now we have height requirements.
Okay. But we can go 2-story with your
Okay, so you've already
product.
determined that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times the 2 stories, the height limitation is about 25 feet on average.
Okay.
So if you think about a 10-foot first floor,
Mm-hmm.
10-foot or 9-foot second floor,
Okay.
and you got to keep in mind there's always a foot in the middle for your flooring. So 10, 11, 9, you're
It's
at
20,
20.
and you
And
have
if you
roof.
do a gable roof,
Safe to say.
usually safe to say you can do it.
Okay. And all of, I guess my question is, as you know, when I've been valuing real estate, the question comes up, is it real property or personal property, right? So when we're talking about TruHaven's product, it is considered real property because it's permanently attached to the land. It doesn't go with you when you sell, when you move. Is that
It
correct?
it depends
Okay.
because we do have small spaces with TruHaven. We have 120 square foot. We do have models that you can build that you don't need the permit.
Okay. Well,
So
that might sell a lot of people right off the bat.
right,
You saying that, because the permit process is a whole nother question that I wanted to get to.
yeah,
But
it's a
w-
very complicated
yeah,
process.
and I do think that that is one that if I had the, I guess, the direction on how to explain it simplistically to the buyer or the whoever I'm dealing with in that real estate transaction, I feel like that would help be one of the biggest selling features of the product, other than the quality of it and the time and all, because there is a factor into it of what it's going to do. What am I dealing with the city? What is it going to open up a can of worms for my house that's already on the property? Because
Right,
say there has a house that they bought or they own, and there's some stuff going on that they did inside or on the side that's not permitted or whatever, am I going to get myself red flagged by building a product that is separately from my house? And that's something, I mean, that's a question that people ask me all the
right.
time, because they want to avoid that at all costs, right? But if you're getting permits for something separate, how many times for TruHaven is a inspector going to have to come out every time you foundation inspector's got to come out,
You have a
right?
foundation inspection.
Then you
You have
have
a
the
framing inspection.
framing inspection. When we say framing, we're talking about the framing with the cold form steel, which is the
That's right.
kit, right?
Hmm.
So that's an inspection. And then the next one would be, was that the roof inspection, or is the roof considered with the
You have
framing?
a lot of times you have your electrical and plumbing
Electrical,
inspection.
plumbing, drywall, everything. And then
Yep,
there's a final inspection, right?
that's correct.
And
So
that's
you get
a
your certificate of occupancy at that
certificate
point.
of
Yep,
occupancy. And once you get that, then that's your green light, right?
that's right.
That's okay. And then, because that's what I'm trying to get at with the permit phase of it, is like, I know that a lot of these things get overwhelming for a
It
homeowner,
does.
and
It
it's like,
does.
so if they take on this product, the TruHaven product, does your company deal with the permit process with the cities, or is that their general contractor they hire that's building once you guys construct the kit, I guess, the architectural design of it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
Okay, yeah,
And it's one that I always like to be transparent with people and with, people I'm talking to.
yeah,
Permit processing, even for an engineering company, is a pain.
yeah, I
It is
know.
so hard.
Hmm.
We've actually gone back and forth over the years. We've done it for a while for our clients, then we stopped doing it just because it took too much resources.
Hmm.
But we've found a pretty good groove now where within TruHaven we can process the permit with our homeowner. It does take a lot of collaboration with the homeowner. Like, for example, a lot of times the homeowner has information we need to ask them. We need to get their signatures, stuff
Hmm.
like that. But TruHaven can help our customers navigate that. So,
Good, because that's kind of where. So this is my understanding as just a guy who knows nothing about this, right? Is that you get this call, I call TruHaven. We decide on the design, the architecture design of the
yep.
product. At that point, I'm in the same time as we're deciding on the design. Am I in contact with my general contractor? So we are
Oh,
collaborating.
no, 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 not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
And that's always a big question we get from people as
Okay.
well. Who do I talk to first?
Mm-hmm.
I talk to an architect. With TruHaven, with their product, do I
Mm-hmm.
go to the architect and then call TruHaven and say, "Hey, I want this product"? Do I call the GC? Do they quote me whether I can build it? So it's very confusing. TruHaven, we take you from cradle to grave. We take you start to finish. I want to go touch a little bit about the architectural design.
Yeah.
It isn't just, hey, we sit down, figure a design out, and off you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very iterative process. So let's go back to role play. You say, I want to build a 1,200 square foot. I want to build a 1,200 square foot ADU, and I want 2 bedroom, 2 bath.
It's a good size.
So it's a pretty good
Yeah.
size.
For two
So
bed. Yeah.
our architects will go take a stab at it,
Okay.
and we'll schedule a Zoom call with you, and walk you through what we've come up with. And then you tell us, hey, can you
Make this room
move
bigger.
a window?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then we'll take that, make the changes. A lot of times we can do the changes right on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
We use a 3-dimensional software and they can see the changes happening right there.
Insert
But
three-dimensional stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
no. No,
Insert
now we
three.
would insert it right now. Like I'm just gonna break
Exactly.
up the knot. But that's the key to me being more intrigued by
Yeah.
this too, because it's a
Yeah.
start to finish. That's the
It
key,
is.
right?
It
So
is.
once they do the design with you on the Zoom.
And and really quick, we typically do 3 iterations. So I want to kind of go with that.
Okay.
So they might say, okay, this is great. Can you email it to me? So we'll email it to the client, let them sit with it, talk to their family members, see if it's what they want, and go about 3 iterations.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we want to take time up front to determine the layout is when we go into engineering, if they change their mind later, it's just a lot of rework in engineering. We want to avoid that.
Yeah.
So
People ask these questions all the time.
mm-hmm.
Like, and it's like, how is it built? So
They're asking us.
still like, how is it built? Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
do people really care as much? And I'm being honest, like, do they care as much about the actual product or it being built to code and them can move on with their lives? And I feel like there's a part of it that people just want to get something they can put people in, like their family,
Yep.
money, the renters, whatever, and then get on with their lives and not have the city come back to them, not have anybody come and like hounding on them. So that's kind of, I don't want to say that's not about the products. I understand it is, but the products is part about the way that it's being sold and how we're getting it to them, the consumer, as quick as
Yeah.
possible to code.
Yep.
You know?
There's a big socioeconomic component to this,
Uh-huh.
right? Where let's say family members, elderly parents, or college kids,
Yeah.
they need to come home. They can't wait a year for an ADU.
Mm-mm.
They don't want that kids, being in their main home for a year while they're waiting.
No, and it kind of is interesting because I just sold a house in Brea and the house had an ADU. Okay,
Yeah.
this ADU was an old garage that they converted a section of it into living area that was permitted. Then
Okay.
this is interesting for your product as well. And then a section of it that wasn't permitted. But they gave the people that were coming in to buy this they just wanted a place to house people. They were like, is it okay? That part's permitted. I just, they weren't, and obviously got the highest top value in the neighborhood because of that, but because it was giving of a value of having some place to put someone else on your lot, right? And that's why I am very intrigued about it for my property, because it is of time of the essence for me, because we have a renter in there and we,
In the main home, a renter in the main
in
home.
the main home. We have a renter in the
Okay.
main home, and we want to, we're in Orange County, right? So our 14,000 square foot lot in Orange County is gold. It's a flat lot. It's if
Pretty
I
good
could
size.
I could put a junior, convert the garage into a junior,
Yep.
and then I can build an ADU, and I can have three homes on one lot.
Three rental incomes.
Three rental incomes instead of me
100%.
going and trying to buy three different rental properties, right? I don't want to do that. I want to have one lot with three on it. So
That's right.
I've been really pushing my fiance into like really making that happen for this property. Our concern is our time frame, right?
Right.
Because if we have a renter in there currently, they're going to be done in 6 months. And they don't want to, they're vacating, so we need to get a new renter in there. Well, if I get a new renter in there on that 6 month, because I don't want to lose out on the rent that I would be getting, how long would I, you know what I mean? How long am I going to be able to not rent the property, the main one out, and get the other one built? The thing about I'm intrigued by TruHaven is the time frame of that product being built, right? So there's a value in that to me.
Which many people come to us with the same issue.
Yeah.
For example, an ADU might cost you 300. We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
$300,000.
Yeah, and your Belinda, my back to the GC, my general contractor stepdad, he built one, and it was roughly, he said when he's all said and done, about $300,000. And the thing is 820 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Yep. So how envision this for a minute? A homeowner wants to build an ADU.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pull $300,000 out of their bank account.
No.
They pull as like a second mortgage,
equity,
a HELOC.
Yep.
And what comes with that?
Mm-hmm.
Monthly payments.
Yeah.
And that you can't recover from until you get the rental income.
Yep.
So you're right. We get that question a lot. And that's where TruHaven comes in, is we can get them built rental income faster, so they're paying less time on that HELOC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%, because that's exactly what we would have to do. We'd have to take the money out, and that's what we want to do. So in finishing that role playing, I want to do this product. I know that my renters are moving out in, let's say, January 2026, right? 6 months
Okay.
from now, right?
Yep.
I'm what point do I start my process with TruHaven, the city, everything? If
Right
I
now.
know that right now, so
Yeah.
6 months in, but I can't build on it till January.
Right, but that's okay
That's okay.
because one of the biggest time sucking or time taking part of the process
Mm-hmm.
is permitting,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a lot of times we're at the mercy of the building departments.
And have you found in that, because I'm just going to stick to mine because it makes sense to me. My brain can go there. So I'm in an unincorporated area, so I'm in the county, not the city, of dealing
So
with the
County of Orange.
county of Orange.
Okay.
Yes. So I go to the county and I say, after I had spoken with the architectural design team with TruHaven, is that correct?
That's right.
And I go down there, or do we go down there, or does a representative from TruHaven go down there and deal with the permits?
A lot of permits are now online.
Okay, so but
So
I can submit all the stuff online
that's right.
after they are, so that when I'm submitting, it would be the design of the house,
Yep.
right? And what else would you technically be submitting?
Let's walk through that a little
I'd
bit.
love to. I'd
Walk
love
through the
to.
process a little bit to try to
Uh-huh.
help everybody understand here. So
You're
um
welcome.
I love that. I love the questions,
Yeah.
and that's what we want to be. We want to provide answers to people.
Yeah.
So what we do is let's go back to the 3 iterations. We
Okay.
finished the 3 iterations. You're like, I've got my perfect house.
Hmm.
Then you give us about 3 weeks.
Okay.
And what we do in those 3 weeks is do the structural engineering, finish out the architectural plan set, structural engineering. There's a set of the plans called mechanical, electrical, plumbing.
Okay. Huh.
That's basically your HVAC, where your lights go, your switches go, and then plumbing, right? Where are the toilets going and how does everything drain to the sewer?
Hmm.
So that whole package gets submitted to the building department. It's a permit set.
Okay.
So you might be a lot of clients say, well, what's the difference between the architectural set and the structural engineering? Like, do I need them both?
Hmm.
You do. So let me explain really quick. The architectural set, I always tell people, shows the building department how pretty the homes can
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Siding, stucco,
Elevations, all that stuff.
elevations, and all
Oh yeah.
that. The structural engineering component of it is how are we going to build it? So in cold form steel, we state how many screws,
Okay.
how many studs, because sometimes we'll put the studs at 16 on center, sometimes 24 on center, 24 inches. So,
Okay.
and like, how are the trusses built? How are the trusses connected to the wall? How are the walls connected to the foundation? Every screw is engineered in a TruHaven home.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we take into account everything. And we wanted to build a proprietary system
Hmm.
that was durable and reliable.
I like that. The all in one encompassing thing is what gets me. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not
Yeah,
having to go to Home Depot, or someone's gonna have to go to get
exactly.
that part of the stuff done, and then
Right.
you have your subs, and that's their business.
And that's one thing we want to stay away from because, like I said, our experience. Let's go back to a competitor. One of the number one things that competitors do is they just sub it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go hire New Beginnings Engineering. Got my structural engineer. I'm going to go hire a steel company.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make my steel. But that competitor, they don't do anything in house.
Yeah.
We don't like that. We want everything in house. We do the engineering, the design, the build, the panelization.
Okay. Now we're there.
There it is.
Now we're to the panelization.
That's
That
right.
means we have gone through both the mechanical, plumbing, electrical, the
The
design,
whole plan
engineering, the
set.
whole package.
Yep.
Now we're on the day of it being installed, of TruHaven coming.
Wait. You're jumping to installation. What about manufacturing?
Okay, go back. Okay, no, yeah, go back to the plant. Go
Yeah.
back
We
to
got to
being a
make it.
build. Well, okay. Well, I thought we were there when we were saying where we were going to put the outlets for the electrical and all the plumbing.
Oh, no. That's just on paper.
Okay.
Everything was still on paper.
Okay, so now we take the paper to the
The
manufacturing.
building
Yeah,
to the building
okay.
department
Okay.
and submit it. We'll submit it online for a homeowner.
Okay.
After getting information,
Uh-huh.
getting the building department fees and all that.
Okay.
Then we submit it to our steel manufacturer, and they have to put it in. It's hard to explain. Let me explain a little bit. So they take our permit set
Mm-hmm.
and they have to put it into a specialized software that communicates to the machines
Okay. Yeah.
because these machines are making the C channels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they put our plan set into their software. Then they send that software back to us as a QA check
Okay.
because that's another differentiator. A lot of our competitors, they'll just send the panels right out. They'll send a kit right out, and the panels won't fit. It won't match the engineering plans. Inspectors will come out and be like,
Yeah, that's a problem too.
right, now you've got delays, 6-month delay right there.
Okay.
So what happens is they create what's called shop drawings. Those shop drawings are sent to us. One of our engineers double check it,
Okay.
make sure they modeled it per our engineering. Once those match, we give them the green light, and then they start making the panels.
Okay. How long does that process take of making the panels once that we're there?
It's very fast, actually. Once the customers actually their product hits the line,
Okay.
they can make it in less than a week.
And that's the saying, because say we establish a 1,200 square foot house in a 3-bedroom,
Yep.
two bath, 1,200 square foot,
Yeah.
and that could be made pretty much. You're saying in a couple weeks,
No, in less than a week.
less than a week, and
Yeah,
that's so. Then we're there.
we're there.
They
Now we
make
go and ship and install.
now you ship it, install it. Where are the plants located that are being where it's shipping from at TruHaven's?
So we have one in Utah,
Okay.
we have one in Florida,
Oh,
and
okay.
one in Texas right now.
Okay.
I
So
kind of help manage the US.
yeah, right there. Okay. So then they get shipped from there on to on site.
That's right.
When they get on site, is that foundation already poured?
Right. So we work with our homeowners to kind of make sure that they get everything prepped.
Okay.
Because as much as people kind of want to do it as a DIY,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm going to go out there and lift these panels ourselves, you can, and we can design it for certain sizes. Say, for example, 400 square foot.
Mhm.
Or average homeowner can probably put it together themselves, or even a 200 or 150 square foot little personal space,
Yeah, yeah.
a yoga studio in the backyard.
Mhm.
When you get up into the 1,000 or 1,200 square foot home, you need a GC to help you out.
There it is, the GC.
There it is.
See, I want to keep my family employed. No, but that's the
We
truth.
can't do it without the general contractors. We
yes.
totally need them.
And that's where I think the cohesiveness of them working with you and working together and understanding, okay, now I'm here. I'm going to construct these panelings, right?
We're going to put them together.
Put them together with
Yep.
the screws that are given to us, all
That's right.
all the things. So now we are constructing it. How long is the construction phase of that?
So what we have found out over the last couple of years of doing this, um, is you can build about 1,000 square foot in one day.
In one day.
One day.
Okay.
And that's interior walls erected,
Uh-huh.
exterior walls, and roof trusses.
And roof trusses. Okay, that's what I was getting to, is the roof.
Yeah.
Okay. So then from that point on, TruHaven is kind of hands off at that point. Is that
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily?
Keep in mind, TruHaven is the engineer of record. We call it engineer of record or architect of record. We
Okay.
design the home. So your GC at that point will finish out the inside, put the toilets in, the dishwasher in,
All the electrical, all the plumbing, all the finishes.
He'll finish that out.
Okay.
But a lot of times what will happen is the contractor will still have a question.
Mhm.
So we don't go away.
Okay.
If your GC comes back and say, hey, I have a question, we're there for you.
Are you assigned like a personal, I guess,
Like project manager?
manager? Yes, project
Yeah.
manager. Okay.
So
okay.
we have, but what's great about our project managers is they're actually the structural engineer.
Yeah, so they know the answers.
They know the
Yeah,
answers
yeah.
right there.
Yeah, that's and obviously I feel like if it's built where to spec code that we were already agreed upon and everyone's
Yep.
there and everyone's in line, the questions are not going to be that outrageous and confusing. They're going to be
No.
more just
There's just typical, if I want to put a cabinet here, is it
Okay.
okay if I put backing here, bracing?
Do you guide the homeowner as to, okay guys, our kit we're in our week phase before the product's going to be shipped.
Mhm.
I recommend that your foundation is poured before it gets to the site.
Oh, 100%. But
Yeah.
we don't do it a week before. So keep in mind, and this is important for everybody to know, is if you're doing a slab on grade, which is only one of many foundation types you can do,
Mm-hmm.
you need at least a month. So you need to pour it at least 1 month before.
1 month before, so it
Yeah,
has to cure.
exactly.
Okay, so once that cures, then and they're just doing their thing around it. So if they're doing the foundation, because I'm trying to, they do the rebar and the foundation, they do all
Right.
that.
So their GC will need to come in and do the foundation
Yeah.
about a month before the kit shows up, the
Okay.
frame shows up. So we always work with our homeowners as well to kind of inform them, let them know you're going to need X, Y, and
Okay.
Z tools. A rubber tire forklift, because you got to unload the steel frames off the
Okay, so
flatbed
good.
truck.
That's another question. So when you bring it on the bed of the truck, that's what you're bringing. They're bringing the tools to get it located in there.
Exactly.
And sometimes that may require a forklift, dependent on the
Exactly. Yep.
space and the crew that it would occur to
Yep.
get it back there.
Yeah.
How heavy is this product per panel?
It depends on the size of the home. If we're talking your 1,200 square
Yeah.
foot, the panels could be about 300 pounds.
Okay. And how wide how big is a panel?
We can make them 4 foot wide, 6 foot wide, 8 foot wide.
Okay.
We make them manageable.
Okay.
If we were talking about 120 square foot personal
Yeah,
space,
yeah.
the panels probably weigh about 70 pounds
Okay. Yeah. So
because
it's manageable with the
we
crew.
want those sizes to be more of a DIY personal space.
Mm-hmm.
But full on homes, you're going to have a GC. They're going to have like 4 framers, 5 framer guys. They're going to take the forklift, pull it off the truck, and carry it
And then
and take it over.
they'll construct it there.
Yeah,
Okay. And then from that point, once it's constructed, it's the GC's timeline.
that's right. So you definitely. So what I always recommend with people is when we submit the paper plans to the building department,
Okay.
then engage your GC. Get a quote from them to finish out the home.
Okay. And have you found any reservations from them with this product from GCs because they're so typical to stick build or that kind of
Yeah,
thing?
I'll be honest, we've come into a lot of hesitation, but what we found is if we educate the GC
Mm-hmm.
and help them understand, hey, it's just like timber construction with screws instead of nails. On top of it, we actually have fasteners that work in nail guns. So we actually have what's called a pneumatic gun fastener. So, like on roofing or
Yeah.
the side of go.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's cold form steel, there are fasteners where you can go.
Okay. And that's a
So
product you sell?
we can put that with the kit.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think that would be a good, yeah. And you just, then these are like GCs, they know what they're doing from that point. Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel,
So here's the other thing we do. So our manufacturer in Utah, we're very intimate with them. We're partners in this, right? Because I really believe in the relationship aspect of business.
yeah.
Just in business in general, right? Relationships. But our manufacturer offers education classes. I always encourage general contractors come up to Salt Lake, come to the parking lot, put up a building,
Yeah.
not building, but put up a little small space in the parking lot. Get your hands on it.
Well, we're gonna build one in Tustin, and it's gonna be the hub, so everyone can come check that
There
out.
you
So,
go.
well, it's a
There you
good
go.
idea, right? That's why I'm really here. I'm ready to do it. No, but honestly, it's been very informative to me because it makes sense now differently.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The process is what people need to understand
they
in my
do.
mind. If they understand the process, the product sells itself, right?
Right.
So we're selling the process of this product in a way because time is money with all of with in my situation it is. I mean,
Right.
4 months of me not getting rental income is a good amount of money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I want to try to take that time frame down as much as possible to where I'm not having to get hung up with cities and codes and permits and things like that, you know?
You know what's crazy about your situation? It's the same with so many people.
Yeah.
And you know what we call it? We call it a story.
Hmm.
And I always tell people we have so many stories of people coming to us that need help.
Yeah.
And that's why TruHaven was born, to help people. It wasn't to go make money. It wasn't to go be a millionaire. It wasn't to go be rich. It was to go meet people's needs. Because I have more phone calls of people that call me and say, "Hey, Jonathan, I've been red tagged," or
Yeah.
I've got somebody getting out of college. I need to build something quick. There's always a big urgent need.
It's not transactional, it's transformative.
Exactly. We want to transform their life. We want to give them experience. We want to take the crisis and turn it into something
Yeah.
positive, you
And I
know?
and like it's the time is money thing is just keeps sticking with my head. Like
It is.
everybody is so crunched with their time that, if they can you can take a part of that away from them at a great price point with a great
Right.
product. I just see it as a winning thing.
It is. And it's not just mom and dad or even yourself for rental. It is a rental income solution. You
It's
know,
and
mi-
it's and a car, okay, you could build quite on this note is you can build I'm running in when I was selling that ADU, I ran into a lot of people who were like, okay, I like the ADU aspect of it, but I also like the garage. I want to convert this back to a garage because I can put
right.
a lift in here and I can so if we can, you do a lot of detached garages, I imagine, as well as a
We
product, right?
do. Well, what a lot of people do, and I see this on Instagram all the time, I'm sure other people see it too, is they'll buy a property that has a home,
Hmm.
detached garage. So what they'll do is they'll take the main home, split it, duplex.
Hmm.
They'll take the main garage, a lot of times, to put a second floor on the garage. Our product can actually be put as a second floor in a garage.
That's great.
And then on top of it, build an ADU.
Yeah.
So you have like 4 or 5 rental incomes
Yep.
off of one lot.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah,
That's the goal. That makes sense now because because I know with junior ADUs they have to be attached to the structure.
that's correct. Yep.
So if we kept our garage, which is attached, as the junior built on top of it, another unit, and then also did the ADU in the back, there's our four
But keep in mind, if I recall, junior ADU, it can't have an external access. It has an internal
of the junior.
access for the junior.
Oh, they have to be from the inside.
I think they have to be from the inside.
Okay. Well, here's the thing I've learned about ADUs in general is and you can help correct me if I'm wrong, but for instance, in California, California has their guidelines on ADUs, but then you go into each city and they'll adopt their own guidelines on what they want
Yeah,
based on that. So like for Brea is different than Orange, Orange is different than Yorba Linda. They all have a little different coding and some require fences, some don't require fences.
exactly.
So every city, so I do recommend no matter what in this process is checking with your city and
I
really.
don't recommend that.
Oh God, you need to know what the city wants though.
That's why you call trust.
Okay.
You call TruHaven.
Okay. Then I'm
Because
calling
what
TruHaven
you just call
tomorrow.
TruHaven. You know why? Because we have what's called a pre-construction report. We'll do
Okay.
the research for you.
Okay, then that's it. I'm
Yeah,
calling.
yeah. Because what?
What's your
What are you
what's
gonna
your
do?
number?
You're gonna
What's your number again?
because otherwise you get into this rabbit hole
Yes, you
of
do.
trying to identify answers.
And none of it makes sense even when you're
Right.
sitting in front of the city. I've dealt with them and I'm like, okay, now I'm more confused than I was when I read it online because what you want to hear is what you read sometimes.
Yeah,
And I think if you have somebody that's giving you the factual information, True Haven, and you kind of let them take the lead in that, then I think it sets you up for a lot less problems along the way.
it does. I can't tell you how many people come to us and say, "Hey, I went to the building department. The counter said I can do it. I went Friday, met with a different
Oh
person. They
God,
said
yeah.
I can't do it.
Uh-huh.
What do
It's
what do I
kind of the
do?"
same. It's kind of the same as in
Yeah,
home inspectors when they come to your
yeah,
property because one will say it's good and the other one will find problems that don't even relate to anything.
right. It can be
So,
a maddening process.
okay, I have one other question. So, in our role play of our property in our junior AD or our ADU that we want to build, we now know that we have to run water. We got to get the underground stuff running to the house, right? Or running our
Right.
plumbing and everything.
That's
And
right.
that is the same time phase that you would be doing all this investigation stuff, right?
Right. So part of your mechanical, electrical,
Okay.
plumbing plans,
Okay.
and our site plan that we put in there, we state where the lines need to be.
Oh, beautiful.
Right. Where the line's going to be, the diameter.
So at some point, someone's coming to my house to look at what we're dealing with. That's the reality.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, True Haven doesn't need to come to the house. We have technology now. We have Google Earth. We have AI solutions.
Okay.
We have a lot of proprietary software and means and methods that we use to identify what we can and can't do on a property. There's a lot of technology out there. And,
Okay.
True Haven, we kind of want to dissect that later as well, another podcast. what software homeowners can go look up
Yeah, for
and
sure.
identify before even calling us. There's certain softwares you can use to identify if you can build an ADU or not.
Okay, so what is the website?
Oh, our
Yeah,
website? It's mytruhaven.com.
mytruehaven.com. Okay, so mytruehaven.com, that's where I'm going to go next.
That's where you got to go and schedule a consultation,
Yeah,
and you might just get me.
I hope so.
So one thing I do want to say is we're actually helping a lot of burn areas as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
yeah, in LA, right?
that's right. So I'll touch on it really quick. So we had a family contact us, and their house burned down. So we went out to in Altadena.
Altadena, yeah.
We went out to the Altadena area. Quite devastating. It's pretty emotional when you see everything burned down.
Yeah, it's got to be heavy.
And so what was so heartwarming and touching with this family is their house burned down and they make a living out of their home.
For their
But
business.
their business permit only is valid for that lot.
So they don't have a
So
business right now.
right, so if they go rent a house to live, they still can't run their business. So the timeliness of rebuilding their home is
Yeah,
super critical
100%.
so they can start make money again.
Could they, like, say, I was thinking that in those areas, so they have the foundation already because that
That's
didn't
right.
burn down.
Right, you can still use that.
Could you, like in some of the larger scaled homes, like that are, have a detached garage, could they build their living area in the garage while they're reconstructing their home with your product as well? You know what I mean?
100%.
Or
A
if
lot
that something like that work
a
out.
lot of people will build 300, 400 square feet,
Mhm.
just a little
Instead of being
ADU.
in a hotel or something like
Exactly, just so they
Airbnb.
can live in their area while their main home's being built.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, that's a great product for that. So
100%.
I
So
have a
we're
feeling that you're going to be building a lot more of those.
yeah,
Sadly, but true.
true.
Well,
We already have people reaching out to us from the Maui burn area.
hmm
That's years ago. So it has a lot of
wow.
applications to help people.
It's a it's a like you it kind of circles back to you're there to help, right? And that
Here
kind of
to
is what it
help.
circles back to. So,
Exactly.
well, I'm ready for your help because our house. Well, in 6 months I'll be ready.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
let's get started now.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right.
brother.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank Brandon for joining our podcast today. Thanks for coming out. We're actually in
Thank
the
you.
TruHaven office today, and you've brought a lot of enlightenment to us about what you're seeing out in the real estate industry, people's needs.
Yeah.
And
Thank
I
you.
thank you for bringing that knowledge here.
Well, you have a great product, and I really believe that. So I wanna help support it, and I also wanna, I really want one built on my lot here. So
Oh, absolutely. And we'll definitely film it so our True Haven folks can see it. I might even invite them out to come
yeah, we'll do a little.
mass people.
Yeah, we'll do something in the backyard. We'll have a little setup.
There you go.
On the day of delivery, I think would be good because I think it's important for people to get a hands on that product too.
Yeah.
So if they can just, when you say the C formation, right? Isn't that what you call it?
Yeah, it's a C stud or
C
C
stud.
channel.
Yeah. So I mean, when you're having those conversations with them, they'll have I'm a visual person as well. So, if
For
you
sure.
see it, it makes a little more sense. So I'm excited to see one in my backyard here soon.
100%. Do you want to give everybody your address out now or
Yeah, yes, I will. I'll put that yeah, we'll put that in the chat.
there you go. As always, thanks for joining us today. This was very informative. As always, like and subscribe, and would love to have you continue on the journey with us as we provide clarity and a little better understanding and navigating the ADU and home building industry. And hope to look forward to seeing you next time.